Do you like baseball? Do you like to go and watch a game of baseball at the park? I bet if you answered yes to that, I bet you're a fan of an American League team. But I bet if you answered no, it's probably because you root for a team in the National League. Why is that? It's because the National League has not developed or not instilled the designated hitter rule like the American League has. And you know what? That means that the American League is scoring more runs. Scoring more runs means more excitement. This is what brings people out to the ball game. I used to play baseball. I was predominantly a pitcher, so I worked extensively on making my pitching better. What did that mean? That means when I got up to the plate, strike one, strike two, strike three, sit down. And I had to go sit. And you know why? It was boring for fans. It was boring for me as a pitcher because it was almost an automatic out. The same thing exists in baseball today in the National League, where predominantly the pitchers are easy outs. But why is that not the case in the American League? Because the American League has a designated hitter. This hitter bats for the pitcher, and they are making the game more exciting. They're driving in more runs. They're bringing more at-bats. They're finding opportunities to excite the fans, whereas they're not just taking 3 pitches and sitting down. This is what's driving baseball out of the National League and what's causing fans to stop wanting to attend games. It's not as exciting. Now, you know what? Back in 1968, Denny McLain had the highest amount of wins for a pitcher with 31 wins. In today's game, most pitchers are hard found to get 20 wins. Why is this? Again, pitching was a specialty. It was easy to get outs when you were playing against certain players who could not hit the ball very well. Again, in 1968, Bob Gibson led the whole major leagues with a 1.12 ERA. That means he was giving up a little bit more than 1 run per game. 1 run a game? That's not exciting. Who wants to see 1 run a game? Carl Yastrzemski from the Boston Red Sox back in 1968, he led the entire major leagues with a .301 batting average. Right now there are guys hitting .350, .360, .370 because they're getting better quality out of their batting. And the quality of pitching obviously is trying to keep up with these better and more exciting baseball players who are batting better as they go about their league rules. Now, what I think needs to happen is the National League needs to develop the designated hitter rule. They need to find a way to get this done. And I think they can do that by watching what's going on. The statistics that you're finding in the American League. The National League has been outscored. The National League has been out-attended. The National League has lost certain players due to popularity because they're not as good in the field anymore. They go over to the American League where fans can continue to watch some of their history being unfolded in front of them. But these legacy ball players who are still contributing, just maybe not so much in the field, but they're still continuing to drive in runs. They're still continuing to hit the ball. Still continuing to bring the excitement to the game. So, the National League, by doing the designated hitter rule, will probably bring more attendance back, and more families are going to come watch. Why? More exciting. There's more great things going on when more runs are being scored. So, I think what we need to do is to get more scoring, to make the game more exciting. We need to get some of these players who maybe are only a pinch hitter in the National League to get up to bat once in a game. Maybe they'll come in and bat for the pitcher late in the game, and that's it. 1 at bat. If they're in the designated hitter in the American League, they're hitting every time the team comes up to bat. When it's their turn, you got that same great hitter, not just once, but he's coming up multiple times. That's a real big thing for the American League and a great advantage over what the National League can do. So, what we need to do, we need to contact the teams in the National League. If you're a fan of a National League team and it's in your hometown, pick up the phone. You can find them in the white pages. Go to their websites. Better yet, even go to the ballpark. Try and get in touch with people who are in prominence there, the general managers, the ownership. Tell them to approach other managers. Let's get this vote carried out. Let's get the designated hitter instilled into these ball clubs. Or go to MLB.com. Or right on the bottom of their page, they have a contact us area. Click on that. Contact the American Baseball League. Have them, tell them your concern. Have them vote for the designated hitter. Get it into the National League. Let's make this uniform across both leagues. So, if you are unhappy, as I mentioned at the opening, if you are finding it boring to go to baseball games, and you're a fan of a National League team, that's probably why. So what you need to do is not to turn America's pastime into America's nap time. You know what? Get out there. Contact these ball clubs. Get them to vote. Get the designated hitter instilled into the National League. Thank you so much for your attention. Go, go, go baseball, go American League, go designated hitter.